Hey guys, welcome to our new YouTube channel Prague Tour Guide. My name is Patrick and I'm going to be your tour guide today. In this video we'll talk about one of the main landmarks in Prague, which is the famous Charles Bridge right behind me. So guys, the man behind me is Charles IV. He's the Holy Roman Emperor and the founder of the Charles Bridge. He built the bridge on a very special date. He chose the date 1357 on 9th of July at 5:31 in the morning. Now the reason why he chose this date, which are only odd numbers, if you think about it, is 135797531. So it's only odd numbers and it's a palindrome. You can read it the same way from both sides. He chose this very special date because he loved astrology and numerology. So Prague was originally divided into 4 separate towns. The oldest part of Prague is the Old Town and the Prague Castle. These two were founded in 9th century. We're right now standing in the Old Town, and the Prague Castle is up on the hill where you see the cathedral. The second oldest part of Prague is the Little Quarter. The Little Quarter is located in the valley below the castle, and it was called Little because it was literally smaller than the Old Town. The third oldest Prague town is the Prague Castle district, and finally the newest is the New Town, which surrounds the Old Town on this side of the river. So the purpose of the Charles Bridge was to connect two parts of Prague, the left bank with the right bank, the Little Quarter with the Old Town. So guys, let's go on the bridge. So guys, now we're walking on the bridge. It's interesting what the bridge is made of. They've done an analysis a few years ago and they found out that they used chicken eggs. They placed them into the bridge. They believe it would make it more solid. And they also found thousands of pieces of wine and beer pots shattered all over the bridge, which implies that the workers were drinking heavily during the construction. Perhaps that's why it took 49 years to build. So guys, as you can see, there are many statues on the bridge, 30 in total. I'm not going to talk about all of them, I'm just going to pick a few that I find the most interesting. One such statue is here. It's a statue of Calvary from 1628. There's one detail which doesn't really fit in. It's the golden writing in Hebrew that's around Jesus. It says, "Holy, holy, holy is our Lord of the multitude," which is a traditional Jewish expression of faith. But there's Jesus here. This is a Christian God, not a Jewish God. The reason why it was placed there in 1696, and it was a result of an improper trial proceeding against Elias Bekofen, which was a local Jew from Prague. Allegedly, he was making fun of the statue, and a police patrol saw him. They caught him. There was a trial against him, and he lost in that trial. And as a result, he had to make this sign, "Holy, holy, holy is our Lord of the multitude," in order not to make fun of Jesus. So guys, the name of the river is Vltava, which the name of the river is derived from the Celtic language, and it means wild water, Vltava. Ava in Celtic means water, Vlt means wild. And the reason why the Celts gave it this name is because it floods regularly. You know, the river on average is about 2.5 meters deep, but when it floods, it can raise by 8 meters. So you can imagine it pretty much fills the arches with water. The biggest flood in Prague's history, which we call the 1,000 years water, because it happens on average once per 1,000 years, was in August 2002, when there was 2 weeks of rain without stop, and it caused the river to flood, and it was pretty bad. Guys, if you look down on the river, you can see these oak barriers in front of each pillar. The purpose of these barriers is to protect the pillars from ice blocks, you know, floating blocks of ice. Because in the past, the river would freeze and this floating ice would damage the pillars. You know, the pillars are made out of sandstone. The whole bridge is made out of sandstone. And ice is quite sharp, so it would scratch off the material from the pillars. So these wooden blocks would kind of diverge the ice away from the pillars. Hey guys, as you can see, some of the statues are completely black. Some of them they look quite new, they're light yellow. They're all made out of sandstone, and the original color of the sandstone is light yellow, as the one on the left, but it turns black with pollution, with air pollution and with erosion. And also gradually over time, these statues are falling apart. So guys, behind me you can see the most famous statue on the bridge. It's a statue of Saint John of Nepomuk. He was a vicar of the Prague's archbishop at the end of 14th century, and according to the legend, the queen confessed to him. We can see the confession of the left image down here. Later on, the king wanted to know all the sins of his wife, so he invited Saint John of Nepomuk to the castle. Saint John of Nepomuk refused to say anything. The king got quite angry. They imprisoned him, they tortured him, and then they threw his body into the water from the bridge, which you can see in the right image here. As the body was sinking in the water, they saw a halo of stars, 5 golden stars around his head, and it was one of the miracles, and he became saint. Now the truth is, there's no historical evidence for the confession part of the story. In reality, he was killed because there was a political struggle between the archbishop and the king over who would appoint bishops into the office. And in 1393, the archbishop appointed a bishop of Kladruby without consulting the king, which made the king quite angry. So he decided to kill his vicar to send him a message. So how come that we have this legend about Saint John of Nepomuk? Where did it come from? Well, in the 17th century, we were under Austria. We were predominantly Protestant country, but Austrians were Catholic, and they wanted to convert us to Catholicism. And Saint John of Nepomuk became sort of like a symbol of this. They decided to create a cult of Saint John of Nepomuk. He was used as a tool to give locals a local Catholic hero. So it was a tool of the Catholic Church to convert Czech people to Catholicism. So guys, let's go over to the side. We will see here a part of Prague which is called the Venice of Prague. And it's because of this artificial channel. The channel is about 500 meters long, and it was built for watermills originally. It's called Čertovka, which in Czech would be translated as a devil's channel. Now the reason why they called it that way, one of the theories why, is because there was a smell like in hell. You know, all the sewers from the Little Quarter and the Prague Castle ended up here. You can see one such example of a sewer down there. So you can imagine the terrible smell that would be here like 150 years or 200 years ago. Now it's obviously, the sewers are not used anymore, so now it's a very pretty place in Prague to live. And if we go on the other side, so if you see that wheel over there, that's the Maltese monastery and one of the watermills on the channel. The channel is quite shallow. On maximum it's about 1 meter deep, so no big boats can come in, only the small ones. So guys, this is the end of our short tour. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Now if you'd like to book a tour in person, either with me or one of my colleagues, you can find the link to our website, lucidtours.com, in the description below the video. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you on our next tour. Take care.